Now moving on, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, who represent Kogi Central, has expressed joy after the Independent National Electoral Commission rejected a petition seeking a recall from the Senate. INEC announced that the recall petition failed to meet constitutional requirements as the number of constituents who signed it fell short of the 50% of registered voters in the constituency. On March 24, some members of the Kogi Central District submitted a petition to INEC requesting Akpoti-Uduaghan recalled from the Senate. And Charity Omole, representing the constituent, stated that they initiated the recall because Kogi Central lacked representation following the senator's suspension. Interesting. And this, it's a very interesting topic that, of course, we'll be talking about today. But as we talk about that, it's a very, very, very controversial, I must tell you, that, you know, as we look at some of the issues that happened leading to the recall of Senator Natasha Uduaghan, looking at it from the different aspect, from the sexual harassment aspect, I think we spoke about it on the show, and of course, some of the statements she has made leading up to this particular recall. One want to wonder exactly where exactly is this going. But I have a guest in the studio who will be discussing this together. And joining me to discuss this issue is a lawyer and, of course, a gender advocate, Barrister Yewande Ogundipe. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah. So the last time you were on the show, we spoke about what is not and what is supposed to be, exactly, and how the both parties were supposed to settle their matter.
Exactly.
And of course, but now we are at this point. INEC has spoken. What is your take first on the rejection of the petition to recall Senator Natasha?
All right. INEC's decision is very well justified and very laudable at the same time. Why? Because we're in a democratic dispensation. And the tenets of democracy should be upheld at every time. Now, a process of recall started. We all know what Section 69 says. They went ahead, had their very, will I call it, unpopular recall process, gathered the required number of signatures based on their limited wisdom, submitted to INEC with the petition that came faulty. INEC addressed it. Okay, there are no addresses, no email addresses, no phone numbers. Work on this. And then the relevant details were submitted to INEC. Now your bundle of 6 bundles, according to what we had, 6 bags of the so-called signatures were submitted, which must be verified. You've scaled the first order of submitting a petition. And INEC went through the process. Out of the total 250 signatures, 250,000 signatures sent, only 208 scaled that order. So INEC coming out to say the petition for recall was rejected is totally very right and very correct, absolutely justified. So I think it's a pat on the back for INEC, and we're hoping that in future elections, the general elections and other forthcoming elections, this same uprightness will be exhibited.
So I wanted us to look at what led to this. You know, there have been so many talks, allegations flying here and there. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, Justice Binta Yaku had to tell both parties no interviews on media. Better. And I think that was a very striking and straightforward way to go, because if that had not happened in the first place, we wouldn't have had all of these, you know. So, but let's look at some of these things that have led before, and I'll ask you, you know, how do members carry it out? There are many allegations that have come in the course of this, you know. Look at how when Senator Natasha came back into the country and, you know, went to her hometown, and she made some very strong allegations, you know, where she said the president of the Senate, Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan, is in line with the government of Kogi State, along with the former governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello, to plot and kill her. He who alleged must be able to prove it. Yes. Let me first have your take on that. And secondly, you know, how should distinguished senators, now use the word distinguished senators, yes, no, put themselves out there for people to recognize and conduct themselves.
Exactly. Well, it's rather unfortunate because I kept pondering on the issue when it started. It's rather unfortunate that a sitting position issue would degenerate this bad. And it kept getting worse and worse with several allegations coming up. Sitting position, should it have gotten to this stage? Perhaps if it had been better managed, we would not be here. Now, on the issue of allegations, it's unfortunate that Nigerians will get very sentimental at all times. Once an issue comes out there, we refuse to look at certain cogent points and issues on ground and not attach sentiments. Before you come out to allege or make some allegations, you must have your facts, you must have your evidence. Like you rightly said, it's trite in law. He who alleges must prove. And these are weighty allegations. Fine, we've heard the allegation of sexual harassment. Your proof, I'm a legal practitioner of almost 20 years. I'm still trying to pick out those proofs. Even though you keep saying when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. Can you let us cross the bridge on time? So we'll know whether we're going to sink or sail. You understand what I'm saying? He who alleges must prove. Mind you, there's a matter in court. You need to respect the judicial process. Parties involved are also lawyers. Do you get? A matter cannot be in court and then you keep throwing allegations today, another one comes up tomorrow. So there needs to be a level of restraint and caution. And I'm very glad the Honorable Justice has come out to caution all parties. Stop all these press conferences. Even the rally itself, even though I know some people would disagree with me, was not right. There was a curfew. Are you telling your constituents, are you telling the electorate, those your supporters, to go ahead and break the law at any time? If there's curfew, you respect it. You're also sending a message across.
But some have also said that the curfew is politically motivated.
Of course, that is the undertone of all this. Everything is politically motivated, even the recall. If not for the seat saga and all the suspension and all that, there will be no issue for recall in the first place. You know, I keep saying it that when it comes to politics in Nigeria, if you try and rationalize it, you might get unnecessary hypertension. It's not rational. Because at the onset, all this issue, even the seat arrangement thing was not only about the seats. There are undertones there. It's all politics. Do you get? But when you want to play this game, there should be a level of emotional intelligence attached. Now, going to your last question, the conduct of our lawmakers, it's a democratic system. If you go there and then it's your constituents that are at the back of your mind, the electorate, the people that brought you in, what is democracy? It's a system of government whereby people come and elect either persons they elect people to represent them in government. If you think of these people that give you the mandate in the first place, I'm very sure sitting arrangement will not be your issue. The camera in the chamber, I'm very sure, is not static. Anomalies. So going forward now, they went ahead and submitted to INEC. INEC did their verification. That's just the first process of the recall, your petition and their signatures. INEC went ahead and did the due process of verifying all the signatures based on the established and existing voters register. And they found out of the whole 6 bags, do you get it filled up with the 250,000 signatures? Only 208 scaled that order. And of course, they had to come out and say, no, this recall process, this petition is rejected. And the same was notified. The senior president was notified. Okay, so but now there is another process being ignited back, where another arrangement of recall process, and this looks like it's not about to end anytime. And it looks like they're now going back to where they started from initially. And this has to be followed constitutionally. Of course, of course. How do you think going back and forth in this kind of situation, what does it tell of our, first, our electoral processes, the recall processes, and what how Constitution plays a vital role in recording, in doing all of this? All right. First, I think I need to lay this premise again. When it comes to recall, there has never really been any successful recall in the history of our democracy. So I wish them all the best. Good luck. That if they are able to scale that is the simple majority requirement if they're able to scale it. Now, going on to constitutional provision, it's unfortunate once again that Section 69 does not give a restricted number of times a recall or a petition can be submitted to the chairman of INEC.
Yeah.
It can be perpetual, means it leaves it open forever, means there can be a recall, a petition almost every month. Those are part of the lacunas in our constitution. Those are areas where amendments need to be done. Once a recall is thrown out or rejected, it should not be brought back. That automatically leaves whoever is the, how will I call it now? Whoever is the mischief maker. Whoever the mischief maker is now can go and rest. Okay, this recall has been rejected. I can go and rest. But since the constitution is silent on it, it can be perpetual. In fact, there can be a petition for every month till the suspension is over. But the main thing is this. Parties involved really need to go back to the drawing board, like I said earlier, and think this through. Is this why you were elected? The interest of your people, are you taking it into cognizance? Is that where you were brought into office? To go ahead and be throwing tantrums over what is not. If you have issues, settle it. Organize a dinner party, settle it. After all, parties involved, once again, we're once friends. What happened?
It's true.
Do you get? We can't keep going round and round. When will our democracy really start? When we will start listening to the electorate? When we will start putting their interest above our own? If we don't,
why are they always calling us into their matter? Because they're friends.
That's the thing. That's politicians for you.
Interesting. Okay, lastly, I just wanted to ask you, this is more of a gender-based question. And you look at it, it looks as if this is not about to be swept under the carpet anytime
Exactly.
soon.
Exactly.
When it comes to allegations about, about the female gender.
Exactly.
But how do we start treating these kind of things? Knowing that we don't have even enough women in the National Assembly. Out of the 109, there are just 4 of them. Even in the House of Reps, they're just, I think they're like 15 or 16 of them. Very
minute.
Yeah, very minute. How do we begin to tackle all of this? But also putting into consideration, you don't play the victim to get the victory.
Of course.
How do we do that?
Right. Thank you for that very important question. One fact still remains. When it comes to gender equality and affirmative action, we are still yet to get it right in Nigeria. This same mindset of women are seen and not heard. Mind you, it's not only our legislators, even those of us in practice, even an average professional woman out there, she needs to just stand her ground sometimes so that the men will accept her. So our politicians need to get to that stage where you know that your colleague at the Senate or your colleague in the House of Rep is not your wife at home. Do you get it? It's not your sister, it's not your daughter at home. Accord them their due respect. Accord them their due regard. The issue surrounding Senator Natasha just went out there to put us, and unfortunately it happened a few days before International Women's Day. Do you get it? Put us in total, outright bad light. You saw when she expressed herself. This is bottled up grievances. I'm very sure there's some other women out there. Mind you, she has been able to put her footprint on the sands of time. The first female senator from Kogi Central. Do you get it? From Kogi State. To me, that's a plus on her part. Do you get? You should encourage these women and not frustrate them. Now the suspension process. She brought in a petition. You cannot sign your own petition. You are hereby suspended. Very unconstitutional. Now, the part of hearing her out, even before suspending her. What are the principles of natural justice? Hear the other party. You cannot be a judge in your own cause. That was never put into place. You just suspended her and said, shut her out. You are not allowed 6 months and don't even use your title with so many stringent conditions. So if you continue like this, what message are you sending out there to the women that want to go into politics? You're already letting them know that, it's not a terrain for women. Or do you get it? There's that undertone there. So we really need to encourage our women to come out more by the way we treat those that are even in the system already. Mind you, fine. We know there's a whole lot of marginalization. We women ourselves too should stop weaponizing our feminism. That's a caveat to women. Stop weaponizing the fact that you're a woman. That mindset of being marginalized, we need to come out of it. And have this feeling, I'm enough. I'm more than enough. Nobody can shut me up. Nobody can subdue me. There's a way you pass your message across without necessarily being offensive or being aggressive.
I think that you just nailed it there. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's really nice having you again.
It's always a pleasure being here.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll go on a break.